Hey, pregame people. You're in store right now for the couple of minutes where I try to get all this stuff put on to Patreon for people to join us live. So that's happening right now.
Love that walkthrough.
Yeah. Getting better at it. It's not as bad if I like schedule it and do it ahead of time, which I've gotten pretty good at.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've told you we've been trying to get Becky a new car for like months.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like she wants a Bronco, and we're looking for like the perfect one that's the right deal, and it's got to be. There's a million different variations of them, and I was looking on Carvana before
Mm-hmm.
we came in here. Like that's why you got the text that said we might be late. I was looking at Carvana.
I didn't get a text because I wasn't looking.
Oh well, any Hoosers, we weren't late. We were right on time. As a matter of fact,
how the fuck do you unlock this file?
I don't know.
Sorry.
And I came and like I found like the one because she wants a 2-door and she wants a Black Diamond edition and I'm looking for a used one and it needs to be an automatic because for some reason a bunch of them are
stick.
Yeah, weirdly, tons of them are sticks.
Huh.
So yeah, it's been a real pain in the ass. But anyway, I was looking on Carvana. And I found one and was like, oh shit, that's the color she wants. That's the type she wants. That's everything she wants. And then it was priced like $8,000 under like the book value.
Yeah.
And I like ran inside. I'm like, look at this. Do you want this car? She's like, yeah, that's I'm like, do you want it right now? Because I've never used Carvana, but I've looked at them and usually like as soon as you start looking at one, if it's a good deal, like a few minutes later, it like says purchase pending and you're locked out. Like people jump on it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And she's like, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm like, you can't just guess. This is expensive. Do you want it? She's like, yes, I want it. And I'm like, okay. So then I like started the process of like doing the trade in and doing all that stuff. And then once you start, you can't stop.
Okay.
But for anybody that is ever wanting to buy a vehicle on Carvana, I'll tell you Friday when it gets delivered, if everything worked out good. But it did take me a solid 22 minutes to go from finding the car till my trade in is all set up, my purchase is set up, and it's ready to go.
22 minutes does not seem like a lot. Maybe that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've sat in car dealerships for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Dealing with that.
And they deliver it. I can't believe we're doing a Carvana commercial for no one.
Right.
But,
we're not even live yet. Hang on. Pre-game 25, I think. Let's go. Join live. And we're going to hit yada yada. And we're going to bada bada boom. We're going to hit this button. But at least talking about the Carvana thing really, gave us something for the people listening on Friday that they get to hear that's special.
Very special. Very special.
Okay. I think the post is up. Okay. Now I can focus.
Great.
Focus.
Well, that's exciting for Becky.
Yeah. It's not for me. I don't get to drive it. And I won too because she wanted the soft top because they make, which basically it's convertible.
Yeah.
And I feel like the maintenance on like if I can't last, how long can that last before that's a problem and you got to replace the canvas? So I wanted the hard top.
Mm-hmm.
And this one that had everything she wanted is also a hard top. And she's like, I guess I'm fine with the hard top.
Yeah.
So I got the hard top. Yeah.
Nice. It's black, you said?
It's blue. They have a color. Hi, Veronica.
It was Black Diamond that you wanted.
Yeah, the black. And that's
I don't know what that means.
That's what's been hard about it is because like we've been saving for this car for literally 6 years. Like I don't do car payments, so everything like I make a payment to myself in a little account forever and ever and ever, and we're finally where we could like get her car, and her Jeep's about to just shit the bed, like it's dying. There's 210,000 miles on it, so we've been, but it's so we look. She wants a Bronco. I love the Broncos. I think they're awesome. But it's like there's the base, the Big Bend, the Black Diamond, the Outer Banks, the Badlands, the Wild Track, and then there's the Sasquatch package, and there's this package, and there's all these different, and they're all like different enough that it matters. So you're like trying to find the one that is, and then every single time we found one that's like the 2-door, that's the color, that's everything she wants. It's a stick. It's weird. Who makes a stick nowadays?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, my grandpa definitely had a Bronco that was definitely a stick, and he did it like off road. Yeah, he like off roaded in it all the time. So I think he was like, "Yeah, I want to be able to."
Yeah, I would like a stick. I like driving a stick. But
I learned how to drive on a Bronco 2, a 1988 Bronco 2 that was a stick.
Nice.
Which car I learned how to drive on.
I
Failed it so
learned
many times.
I learned that I didn't want to learn how to drive on either of my parents' stick shifts, so I waited until a friend with an automatic
Yeah.
could teach me.
Well,
I was scared to death of those stick shifts.
I had a stick for a while. Like after we first got married, we were just kind of in debt up to our eyeballs. After all the divorce and everything and all that stuff. And so I sold both of our vehicles and then bought both basically beaters to drive for like 3 years so that we could just get ourselves climbed out of our little hole. And I had my big ass was driving a little Ford Focus that was a stick shift. I love that. I drove that car for 3 years. I love that little car. But I tried like 10 times to teach Becky how to drive the stick, and it was never happening. Like she's not driving a stick.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited that it's going to be like, so if this work and the trading, because then the other piece of it was then we have to sell our Jeep. If we find the car, then we have to sell the Jeep, and the Jeep's a piece of shit. It's a 2012. It has 210,000 miles on it. When you start it, the latest thing after I fixed so many other things is there's like a little gear broken in the little door from like the recirc thing. Like when you hit recirculation on your like air conditioning unit, it closes a little door is what happens. Well, there is a gear broken in that little motor. So every time you turn the car on, you hear pop, 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 pop. Yeah. And so I just punched it into there. I put the VIN in, all the stuff, and they're like, "We'll give you $4,000 for that." I'm like, "Sold, motherfucker."
Yeah,
I'm done. Like I could probably like put it out the street and maybe get like 6 for it, maybe, but then like I'm selling it to a real person that's like that car's gonna die. Like let Carvana have that.
Oh no.
Yeah, the blend door. That's right, Tool Girl. The blend door. And that's one the thing with that blend door. Tool Girl knows her shit.
What's a blend door?
So like when you change settings on your heater and air conditioner, like there's in the Jeep, it's right behind the glove box. There's this little door that like closes and opens, but the little motor for it, which is a $40 part, because I was going to fix it, it's like behind and underneath the stereo. So you imagine all the shit that's right there in your car.
Yeah.
And to get to it, you got to go by you got to take all this stuff apart and go back by like the gas pedal and go up in behind there somehow to get to this thing. So I was just like, we're just gonna have that thing make that noise because I'm not doing that at all. I'm giving it to Carvana. For $4,000. They can have that problem. So what's supposed to happen on Friday is a little truck is supposed to pull up with her Bronco and then pull that off and then take her Jeep and put it on there. And then we sign some papers and then they drive away and she has her new car, her brand new used car.
Her brand new used car.
Yeah.
Christy says, come on, Bob, on Facebook Marketplace, people would ask $20,000 for that.
Right. Oh, dude, don't get me started. I fucking hate Facebook Marketplace so bad. You know, remember, I'm sure I talked about it on here. I had bought this old like plow truck here for this winter.
Yep. The plow truck.
That whole nightmare when I decided to sell that thing, like months, every single day, somebody is like, "Hey, will you take $2,000 for it?" I'm like, "Yeah, come and get it. Cool. I'll see you tomorrow." Never hear from that person again. That happened to me 350 times over the course of 2 months. It was constant bullshit.
Yuck.
I hate selling stuff on Facebook Market. I did have a good at Facebook Market experience this week though. Last week.
Well, I guess you're going to undo everything you just said.
Yeah, I was just thinking. So none of this is going to make sense, but as Zach mentioned last week, we have like whiteboards all over the office and stuff for different things. One of them is our storyboard that we storyboard the episodes out on. It's got the different acts and where we put in like the feed drops and all that, whatever we're going to be doing. And where it was positioned because there was a dartboard in the corner of the office because me and Mike used to play darts a lot. And so then the whiteboard was shifted over about 2 feet, which made it so like the last foot of it overlapped the front of my desk. So when I was storyboarding, I had to like lean over and do it. And in front of that was a big giant incubator from when I had the quail.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And then when Eric and I were storyboarding that episode last week, I'm like, this needs to be over where I can, this is ridiculous. Is because she was laughing at me, making fun of me, leaning over the desk. And I was like, well, first thing, I got to get rid of this incubator. And I put it on Marketplace and somebody messaged me and they're like, can I look at it tomorrow? I'm like, yep. And then they showed up on time and they're like, you wanted $600 for it? I'm like, yep. And they're like, cool, here's your $600. And they took it.
Great.
Like, that's not how this usually works.
I know.
That doesn't usually work like that at all.
Yeah. I'm glad you got rid of that because the only incubator you need in that office is the incubator of your whiteboards and your ideas.
That's right.
See, the office is the place where all the ideas come together. You get a chance to really cook them, think about them.
And those ideas are fueled by First Form. Fueled by First Form.
Clap, slow clap.
Yeah, drinking my First Form energy. This is a cherry, for those of you, cherry limeade. This one
Okay.
is.
I like that he's got.
I haven't tried this one yet. This is a new flavor for me.
First moment right here. This is it.
He's literally like,
this is exciting.
This is the bottle.
No, I'm kidding. That's delicious.
Uh-oh.
What do you got?
I just spilled it on myself is what I got. Screaming Freedom.
Screaming
Freedom is
what flavor
very
is that?
different
I've
than
only
cherry limeade.
I don't know. It literally says Screaming Freedom.
I've only ever I've drank their energy drinks before, but I always had the orange ones, and I just got this variety pack, so I got some new flavors.
Screaming
Can you place the
Freedom
flavor?
and cherry limeade.
No. Is it good?
It's good.
Is it blue?
No, it's white.
What? Are you okay with that, buddy? Quick, someone get him some blue coloring.
I know.
Right. Yeah. He does like blue flavor.
I sure do like. I do like the flavor blue.
Dude, you look at the back of these. This is awesome. So they are.
I don't know, but I've fucking made a mess over here.
This big old thing. This big old thing is 10 calories. This energy drink, First Form energy drink. 10.
Good
calories.
work. That's 10 calories of weight your clothes are gaining. Zach, since you just put it
spilled
all
it down
over
your
clothes.
shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting you. The cherry limeade is fucking delicious. Taste this.
I think I've had this one.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Don't spill it.
Why did I let you put your greasy lips all over it if
a
you've already
little
tasted it?
surprised
I
as well.
realized
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I realized as I'm handing it to him that he's like, I've already tried it. Like, good. If you could lick my can anyway, that'd be great.
I ate your food the other night, and it took you an hour to figure that out.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, I didn't finish my food. So, like, I didn't even finish that sandwich. So it didn't.
You panicked.
But the important thing is, we're at a grad party. The important thing is, when it comes to my behavioral analysis, how long did it take me to know that you fuckers did something?
3.5 seconds.
Yeah. I sat down, looked at Becky, looked at Michelle. What the fuck did you do?
Lie detector. Human lie detector.
Yeah. And they're like, well, we did
Human mischief
nope,
detector.
You did some bullshit.
Yeah.
You did something.
And then they were acting like they got me because I didn't notice there was a small bite out of my sandwich on my massive plate of food.
Also, it wasn't a small bite.
You've just described every single day in my relationship because we have a long tradition where Brandon makes something for himself and hands it to me to carry to the table. And then in the interim space of me carrying it to the table, I always take a bite.
Yeah.
And then he acts shocked and surprised and dismayed. And it's especially satisfying always when it's a sandwich because there's no hiding that. And it's more fun when there's a little nibble taken out of something and you can really see it. It's not as fun when it's like oatmeal, like, oh.
Right. Yeah. I have some clarification and a funny story, both.
Great.
Okay, clarification on my sandwich situation. So this was an Italian beef sandwich. So they were like buns. You put this good greasy Italian beef on and some little provolone cheese, and it was
You're
like
really
mixed up.
it.
Yeah, and I had taken a couple bites out of it, but it was like point being, it was an odd, and it was because of the grease. It's all smashed up and stuff. So it was an oddly shaped sandwich with bites already taken out of it.
Yeah.
So there was no noticing that the bite was taken. You know, it wasn't
if you would have, I took a bite out of the opposite end.
Oh, but see, I would have thought
there was like 3 bites out of this end and 1 big hunk out of this end.
That would see to me that it wouldn't have noticed because that's something I would do. Like if I was like, oh, it looks like there's some cheese squirting out the back. I like stuff to stay, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would definitely do that.
Zach, what you're gonna want to do next time, and you're gonna have to act fast, is you're gonna want to invert the sandwich. So you're gonna want to go ahead and put the bread on the inside and the greasy meat on the outside, and then see if he notices.
Right.
Keep it subtle.
So there's that. Funny story. This goes way back. This is 20-year-old Bob. To be fair, for anybody that's going to get mad at me, 20-year-old Bob. I'm working in an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and there was the parts lady that ordered our parts was just ratchet. Like she's just mean as a snake to everybody all the time. Nobody could stand this lady, and she had left the office and went and got herself some lunch. And she got Burger King, and she put her Burger King bag on her desk, and then she left to go to the bathroom. And I carefully unwrapped her Whopper, took one perfect clear bite out of it, and then perfectly rewrapped it
Yes. Yes.
and put it back in her bag under the fries and all that stuff. And I thought that was the most hilarious thing that had ever happened. And then I came, and it's still funny unless something terrible happened here, because when I came back in after going to do a work order, I came back into the shop and she was still on the phone screaming at the Burger King for somebody taking a
This
bite
is what
out
you
of her.
need to think about. You
But
need to think about how the horrible people of the world are gonna take it out on somebody else.
but I want to believe that the fucking
Yeah.
manager of Burger King was like, nobody took a bite out of your burger. Like, no one here would do that. No one would take a bite out of your fucking hamburger and wrap it up and give it to you.
Would you want to hear a story about that? Not a burger.
Uh-oh.
My best friend when I was in high school worked at Wendy's.
Uh-oh.
And Wendy's stays open late, right? Like they close the dining room, but it stays open late. And we would just go like hang out because we were high school kids and had nothing better to do.
Sure.
So the manager on shift made me some, like they had chicken strips or whatever, made me an order of chicken strips. And I totally like ate like half of one and like set it back down. And we got talking. And then I started to go back to eat. And she's like, "Oh, we just had an order. I'll make you some fresh ones. I sent yours out." And I'm like, I ate half of one of those. Like it's in the box that you just sent out the drive-thru. So it can happen.
Right. At least that's like a reasonable
point.
mistake. Yeah. But I cannot for the life of me believe that the manager of Burger King is like, "All right, which one of y'all motherfuckers took a bite out of that sandwich?" And it was perfect too. It was like, I mean, I was careful to like, because I didn't want her to think it just like was missing a chunk. I wanted her to know that it was a bite.
Yeah.
That someone and she believed with her whole heart that the man at the Burger King just was like, this is some of my best work.
Yeah.
And I need to take a bite out of this. It just checked my work.
I love that that's the reason. The reason is like, I got it. This looks so good. I have to take a bite.
I said I've always felt bad about it because somebody got screamed at, and I certainly hope somebody didn't get disciplined for it. In my defense, I was a 20-year-old child when I did this.
You were.
It was 25
You were
years
about
ago.
to make so many more mistakes in your personal life than just
bigger mistakes. Yeah, big mistakes. But I hold on to the fact that the people at the Burger King were just laughing their ass off at this, what they perceived as just an insane woman calling them about someone, because she did say that they accused her of taking a bite out of her sandwich and forgetting she did it.
Well,
they're like, "You sure you didn't take the bite out of it?" She's like, "You don't think I know I didn't take a bite out of my sandwich?"
That suggests that the person who was getting yelled at was indeed taking it in stride.
Yeah.
And
because that's also a ridiculous accusation.
I know.
Right. Yeah. The pranks of those days. We had
I know.
We had a kid that worked for us. He was, I say kid, he was probably a year younger than me. But just this really like scared of his own shadow, nervous little kid, that worked. And if anybody's ever worked maintenance at an apartment complex, it had 700 units at this place. You see some weird shit doing that, between the stuff people throw out to because you have to go in everybody's units to do like work orders, and you just see how people are living. And then when they like move out, or you evict them, and you got to like clean stuff out, like the stuff that gets left behind. And one day, like we were out doing like just picking up trash around the complex, and like outside of the dumpster is a trash bag I picked up, feels funny, and a giant dead boa constrictor.
Oh no.
Fell out of the trash bag. Like somebody's boa constrictor died. They just put it in a regular old trash bag, carried it to the dumpster, and we're like,
that would feel so weird. Like that, what else could, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What a strange weight distribution and like shifting. Poor boa constrictor.
Yeah, so I took it and I put it in Johnny's little golf cart.
Of course. What else were you supposed to do?
Well, first of all,
what choice did you have in that circumstance? That's never going to happen to you again. You got to do it.
Right, exactly. You're never going to have the opportunity again. Real quick,
Never.
Susan, no, I certainly never did ever tell that woman that I did that. She still to this day thinks there's a crazy person at
well, we got a surprise for you.
Right.
Nurse Ratchet, could you come in here, please?
Her name was Martha.
Martha. Got it.
Yep.
The name Martha.
This boa constrictor situation broke pretty bad too. So
you tell me this poor fucker crashed his golf cart. His golf cart like flipped.
That would have been
broke his leg.
That might have been better. No one was injured,
no.
but we had this like garage, and in the mornings we'd pull the golf carts into the garage, and then when the day would start, we'd pull them all out to go run around and do our shit. And so his was in there, and I like coiled it up and just like set it. And I even like propped something under its head, and I propped like a toothpick in its mouth, so its mouth was open.
Oh no. How long did it take you to set all of this up? How much of the job you were getting paid to do did it take you to set this up?
I did it on my own time. I was so dedicated to this. I waited until after hours at like 8 o'clock at night and went back in to set this whole thing up for the morning. It is too bad that this was before the days of like cell phones, period, or like cell phones with cameras on them, because someone should have videoed this. So he comes in the morning, he smokes his little cigarette, and then he goes to get into his golf cart, sees it, freaks out, screams the most high-pitched scream you've ever heard, stumbles back, hits a shelf full of parts, and then it bangs, it like rocks back, rocks forward. No. He grabs it to try to get away from the snake, and then the shelf comes down and little bitty parts go scattered all across the whole fucking shop.
Did you pee your pants?
I did not, but I laughed so hard. And then also, to this day, this is the first time I've ever confessed in public that I was the one that did it. Because once the part situation went everywhere, do you think Martha was happy with that? No, ma'am, she was not. And she wanted, somebody's getting fired, and I'm like, who did that? But then I was like, because I was still proud of it, I'm like, who did? I mean, that was clever. Whoever did that.
Oh no. I hate you.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
Unacceptably brilliant is what I would say.
Yeah, I started like questioning other people.
Unforgivably funny and great, but we cannot.
Yeah, but I'm like, listen, if you did, dude, you could tell me if you did, because like I was like, if I was like having private conversations, then about it, then no one would suspect me. So I was like grabbing people like privately. I'm like, dude, did you do that? That's fucking hilarious. You're like, evil. I didn't do it. I'm like,
you are evil.
You did it, right?
You are evil. This is how people they give false confessions. This is how people end up in a lot of trouble.
Again, I want to point out I was a young lad of 20 years old. I would never do these things today. But hot damn. That was fun.
Oh no, Susan says, I once packed up a coworker's desk as if they were fired. They came in and cried. It was no longer funny to me. Yeah. This is the problem. I've definitely participated in pranks that weren't even that mean-spirited, and the second someone looks alarmed or like nervous or slightly crestfallen, I'm like, I'm so sorry, it was me. It was me, I'm sorry. Well, before you even had a chance to process that this might be a prank, I'm sorry, I hate myself.
The problem I had is like, I'm pretty good at pranking people.
I have no doubt.
And oftentimes, as in these two occasions, like they end up leading to some pretty tragic circumstances to where like I can't take credit for them. Like the burger situation, like I couldn't.
You're the victim in all of this because you can't take credit for it. You're the victim. That is sad.
That's just
tragic.
Contrasting to you, or like immediately admitting what you had did. Like I couldn't do I might have got 7 people fired from Burger King and put what had to be $5,000 worth of faucet parts all over the floor that Nurse Ratchet had to pick up, because that was the other thing. No one would do it, because he's like, I'm not doing it. Somebody did this to me. It's not my fault. And then she's like, whoever did it, and nobody was about to say they did it because they didn't do it, and I wasn't gonna say I did it. So I'm like, listen, this is tough. You know what, Martha, you should make a report on this right after you're done picking that shit up.
She picked it up. You didn't even say like, I didn't do this, but I'm gonna be the bigger person and I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this stuff.
Because and the thing is, I do have a conscience, so like I felt really bad about it, but I didn't because I hated her so bad.
Yeah.
But also I was like, if I do that, if I'm just like, I'm just gonna be the biggest person and I'm gonna pick this stuff up, then they're gonna be like, well, that Bob did it. Like,
got it.
Obviously Bob did it. Why else would he?
This is his guilty conscience. He's just not willing to admit.
So instead, I doubled down the other way. I'm like, I had nothing to do with me. I'm not fucking picking it up.
God, I wish that the person who threw away their goldfish, their goldfish. I have a problem. It's early.
Yeah.
The person who threw away that boa constrictor, if they knew the kind of hijinks that deceased pet brought into your life, what a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. That snake lived again.
It did. That snake had a heyday.
Amy wants to know, what would I do if my kids pulled this stuff on me?
Great question, Amy.
Yeah, I mean, I would I love a good prank. Like, I mean, I'd get them back way worse than they got me. But like, I would never. I can't get mad at people for a prank because I love a prank.
Yeah,
I love a good prank. Also, I think my kids would tell you that it would be extremely difficult to get me, as they mentioned the sandwich situation, like because I have OCD and I'm constantly looking at everybody all the time. So the minute, because they've tried, like Becky tries to get me with stuff occasionally, but like I literally one look for 1 second at her face and I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Like, what did you do? What did you do? Yeah, and then I'm on high alert looking everywhere because I know something's coming.
I think your kids just prank you by being your kids and their children who do things wrong or like mess up. Like, I feel like you get enough pranks just from like Parker being like, Dad, I forgot.
You have to come back to school.
This is natural. His natural setting is like the universe pranking you back.
Right. Yeah, they get me. They do get me. They get me all the time.
Yeah.
Like big stuff. Like, I forgot to fill out my financial aid form. So you have to pay for the whole year of college by yourself.
Correct.
Stuff like that. That hasn't happened. But that's something that would happen with one of them if I wasn't on their ass all the time about getting stuff done. But they do, like they if one of them tries to lie to me, like the other ones like gang up on them afterwards. They're always just like, why you try to lie to why you even try to lie to Dad? Like, what do you do? Like, lie to Mom. You can get away with it with Mom. Like, he's not gonna. Parker got in trouble at school like, I don't know, a month or so ago when school is still in session, and his mom had picked him up and she told me what had happened, and I'm like, that's bullshit. She's like, I know he's lying, whatever, but I can't. And then she thought she had figured out what had happened. And then and this was over a whole weekend, her like interrogating him, trying to figure out what happened. And the story was total bullshit. I said, it took me 30 seconds. I'm like, look at me in the eyes. Okay. That story's nonsense. I know it didn't happen. You're going to tell me right now what actually happened. And he like for a minute tried to look at me. He's like, well, actually, he said this to me, and then I did this. And the crazy thing was, I can't say what happened, but he got into a little scuffle at school.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended with like him, like a little shoving match where like one kid like fell into a trophy shelf and broke a trophy. And his story about why they were shoving each other was complete bullshit. The real story, like the kid that got shoved, like had it coming and he started it. But Parker, the thing that Parker said that made him mad, which was in retaliation to what this kid said to him, is the part that he was afraid he would be in trouble for saying. I guess I could say it. It's not that bad, but it's something like we would not let our kids say, but this kid like picked on him.
Okay.
So Parker was minding his own business, drawing a picture, and the other kid came over to him and was like, what are you drawing? And he's like, oh, I'm just drawing like a character for this little cartoon I'm making or whatever he's making.
Yeah.
Parker was like making his own little graphic novel or something. And the kid's like, oh, is that character supposed to be you? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, oh, well, you better make it look stupid.
Rude. Awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and Parker Parker has ADHD and stuff. He's like that's a trigger, for him.
Yeah.
In the Parker didn't want to tell us. He didn't tell us any of that. He was just like, oh, he was just talking to me, and then just whatever. I don't remember his bullshit story was. The part he didn't want to tell us was that he quickly responded, and it's terrible. I would never, if it in any other circumstance.
No.
But his response was, well, I can make one of you, but I guess I'll have to make it fat.
I mean, what? Anyone would say the first worst thing they could come up with after someone said something shitty to them. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
And whether they said it out loud or not.
Yeah. And he was lying about it because he knows that that I would not be okay with him calling someone fat ever.
Right.
Like we don't do that.
Right.
But in that circumstance.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did he try to play off instead?
He made up a whole different scenario. There was no I don't even remember what it was.
Good lies stay very close to the truth.
Yeah, no, it was a whole different scenario. There was not. It was like, well, I was just talking, and then he came to me, and then he was mad about something. I don't remember what, and then it was like one of those things. Yeah. So that's what he was hiding the whole time, and then it was like, oh, now the whole thing makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, don't lie to Dad.
Amy said karma is real. That's probably way too back. I just glanced through the chat and I saw the word anal sex for some reason, and now I need it. What I also made my husband's phone change the word wings to anal sex. Super fun when he texts his buddies if they were going for. I did something similar to that in the fire department at one time. We had two like teenagers working for us. Like they're both 18, new rookies, and they would hang out at the station. They're like volunteer, like part-timers, hang out at the station. And the one, his girlfriend had moved away to college, and he had her number stored in his phone as my baby. And the other one was like they were constantly bickering because kid one wanted to hang out with kid two, but kid two was always texting his girlfriend. And it was just, he was like, get off the love line, man. He's like always something. And so when kid two went to the bathroom, I changed his contact so that my baby was kid one. So they left for the night. I found all this out later.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Wait, something happened with Carvana.
Oh no.
I'm
almost done typing all these questions.
What are you doing?
I'm typing the questions.
Why do you have to do that? I don't understand.
Because the file's locked and it won't let me do anything.
What do you mean the file's locked? It's just a Word document.
I know, but it says it's locked. It won't let me copy paste. It won't let me type in the file.
Why didn't you tell me that's what was going on, and I could have just sent it to you again as something else?
It says you can't make a change because the selection is locked.
It's not locked. It's just a Word document. I don't even know how to lock a Word document.
Well, you done doed it. Why would
I didn't do it? I didn't undo it.
Well, I'm almost done now.
Why didn't you say something?
I've been typing for 30 minutes.
Zach, that's on you.
I know.
I'm sitting at a computer.
Actually, multiple times.
At a computer. I could have easily.
Do you not remember me going, why the fuck is this locked?
I didn't know what you were talking about. I'll tell you what I knew it couldn't be. Anything to do with me. Anything at all to do with me. There's no way.
God damn it, Janet. It's your fault.
No.
Oh, no. Becky's going to be so mad. And so am I.
First of all.
It went away. For screaming freedom.
Screaming freedom. First of all. It's delicious.
Freedom. Does it taste like freedom?
Yes. I don't know what it tastes like, but it tastes like French fries and Chinese food.
I can't believe you. What you did? You hand typed all of those questions?
Almost.
No. Why? No.
It wasn't even necessary. Like we don't have to pop them up on the screen.
Listen, I have one job, and I'm barely good at that.
Oh
So
my God.
I think my deal just fell through on Carvana.
Well, and how and why?
Because, well, what I wasn't looking at that call I had a minute ago that I ignored was them. And then there was a text. I wasn't paying attention, but apparently for the trade-in for Becky's Jeep, both of our names are on it, and they needed her copy of her driver's license too, and not just mine.
Oh.
But this seems crazy. Like, how could it? It was all. It says sadly the deadline for verification has passed, and we were unable to complete your order or keep your appointment. Check like 30 minutes, and it's just fucking
making you
over.
crazy right now that you have to do this instead of diving 1,000% into dealing with that as the clock ticks.
And I might have to. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
you can. I can continue having a fight with Zach about why he didn't just say,
you guys fight for a second. I
"Hey,
need to make
Janet,
a phone call."
that fight. It seems for I know this seems impossible because you wouldn't even know how to lock a Word document, but you've sent me a Word document that I can't just copy and paste out of.
Yeah, I've been trying.
There's no point in both of us doing the same work twice.
I'm almost done though. I'll let you and Bob go.
Almost done. Then what? Let me send you whatever's left over.
Well, I literally have 2 questions left, and now I'm talking to you, so we're good. I mean, those 2 questions don't even need to make it. We're fine.
Locked? I'm opening this document to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is something on. That's something on your end.
It might be. It very well could be something on my end, but it totally won't let me copy paste, change anything in the document.
No.
I can't help it. I'm almost done though. It doesn't matter. I was just gonna finish and then ask you guys what you've been talking about for the last half hour because I really wasn't paying attention to you.
You didn't miss anything. I mean, it was pranks.
Truthfully, I didn't feel like I missed anything.
You definitely didn't. It was pure prank talk.
I just caught words of like there was a snake, and then there was anal sex, and then there was I don't know. I don't know. I
want to make it clear those 2 things did not have anything to do with each other.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Lest anyone wonder.
I don't know what's happening.
Lest anyone wonder. Yeah, no, this is just a normal Word document. So I don't know what to tell you, my friend. Well, except that I'm sorry that happened.
It's fine.
But
it's all good. It's all good. Number 1 in the hood, Chief. I'm done.
Oh, Tool Girl, don't bring up the Berkshire Festival. I don't know what I'm never going to sell these Joni Mitchell tickets. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to the festival. I cannot spend money out of pocket both places.
No, makes sense.
And not go to that show. But I'm so mad. Everyone's going to be there.
Let's just don't tell Bob.
What am I going to do?
Just don't tell Bob.
Like I already texted him and said, dude, I don't know what to do. Like all of this happened before the podcast festival is even scheduled. There's only so much I could do. I don't like what.
Go enjoy your concert. Go enjoy your concert. That's what you have to do. I think that's what you have to do. Have you watched The Bear on Hulu?
No, and I know it's great. I started watching it, and it was the very first episode stressed me out.
Oh, it's all stress.
Yeah,
it's all
and
anxiety.
I was like, I don't know if I can feel this for like to relax. I don't know if I can feel this.
It's so good. It's so
and
good.
Watch it. I know it is. I know it is.
So much anxiety and so much like. The first season is nothing but anxiety and drama. The second season has a bunch of it, but it has like 2 or 3 like absolutely beautiful episodes. And when I mean beautiful, I mean like no anxiety, just absolutely gorgeously shot, beautiful. Like part of the second season, they're redoing the restaurant and they send their pastry chef to Denmark. And it just follows him. Like there's a whole episode of him just being in Denmark, and it's a beautiful episode. And then season 3 is bonkers.
Right, I'll just watch that one. No, I'm sure I'll watch it. I just can't. I just couldn't. I started watching. I was like, God, I know this is going to be good. And the problem was I know it's a great show. So I knew the longer I gave it, the more I would stick with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't so yet.
And the silliness, like you laugh and cry. I cried like out of the 10 episodes, probably 8 of the 10 episodes in season 3 cried. But you laugh in every single one of them too. Like Maddie Matheson, who is a real life chef, who is like who they brought in to be their, I don't know what you want to call it, but brought in for that
advisor, I guess.
Yeah. They actually like gave him a role, and he's the funniest fucking person without being funny. Like he's amazing. He's such a good dude too. and he's just playing himself, which is even better. Like if you know him, know anything about him, he's just like a big silly teddy bear, like heavily tattooed
Nice.
chef, but just like
Yeah.
silly as hell. And it's such a good show. Such a good show.
I'm happy for Eben Moss-Backrack because I had a huge crush on him
Yeah.
back in the day when he was in the movie Mona Lisa Smile.
Okay.
And I loved him, and he just wasn't in much. He just wasn't showing up in much. And so
He's so
I
good
had to
too.
like seek out things that he was in, and then he got this show, and I was like, oh shit, like this is it. He got his show, and he's,
He's
he's
good
in
in
his
it too.
40s and he got his show.
He is
It's great.
really fucking good in it.
Yeah, he's
Really
great. He's
fucking
great.
They have in season 2, they have a whole episode dedicated to him as well, like to his
Nice.
character and the character development.
Nice.
I think that's what's been really neat is they have all these like, all these like high anxiety scenes and all these and every episode's crazy, but then they'll just take an episode and literally just like transition one character through this one episode, and it's so good. So good. Yeah, he's such a good character, and he's such a fucking maniac in the show, like in the best way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
He's
can't
great.
what is her name? The lead actress. Her name's like Ao something.
Oh, yeah.
What I probably pronounce. She reminds me of my sister, so like her
Yeah.
face looks like
She's wonderful. We've tried to get her at the festival because she's also a comedian.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Everything she does, like her facial expressions and the way, like her mannerisms, it's my sister. It's 100% my sister. Like,
Yeah.
every time I see her, that's just that's who's on screen when I'm watching.
Oh,
her,
yeah.
is my sister, because it's like everything she does is my sister Julie. So
do you think your sister would see it? Because I'm always curious. I'm always interested in that, right? Because sometimes people see it about themselves, and sometimes they're like, I don't see it.
I don't know. I don't know if she would see it or not. My wife saw it. My wife said the same thing though. She's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's totally her the whole way."
Yeah.
What is this? Who knows what that was? Yeah, no, it's 100% her. I don't know. I would.
What if it was Bob dragging you into the Carvana thing? I just had to sit here by myself.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Zach, come in here. I need you. I need you to make a copy of Becky's driver's license.
Go get her driver's license out of the house.
He really left. I guess I'm processing the fact that he really did go to try to deal with it.
Yeah, no, he really.
Now it's just us. Truth and just us.
Truth and justice.
Finally.
I appreciate
back to the good old days.
Yeah, right. It was so nice when he was gone. That one day, that one time that he was gone, and we just got to the kids got to play. It was so much fun.
He doesn't prank you that often, does he?
Not really. Not really.
That's good.
I don't think so. If he does, I don't get it.
It's fun, but people who do that need to understand that you have to like preserve. You have to do like that's like a once in a while thing. You can't be the friend that's constantly pranking, or you won't have any friends anymore. Like it's funny, it's fun. I enjoy a fun prank, but like it needs to be like a once a year thing. Like, what's my prank going to be this year? Big or small? I'm
trying to think. The last few times that he's pranked me has always been something like super silly, like something that doesn't matter like whatsoever. Like the whole, well, I guess that wasn't even a prank. He just will say things that make me uncomfortable. Like when we met Randy Blythe when we were with Damien and met Randy Blythe, who was the lead singer of Lamb of God. And I'm like, I'm a huge fan. I'm geeking out. He's sitting next to me and I'm trying not to be an asshole. The whole time I'm like, I'm talking to him, but nothing about that, because I'm purposely like, I'm going to be this guy. I'm going to be this guy. And then eventually I was like, man, would you mind if I got a picture? I'm like, oh, absolutely. So I give Bob my phone to take a picture of us, and he takes a picture and goes, all right, you're going to have to tell me who this is later. I'm like, God damn it. Why would you do that? Like, I know that you don't know who it is, but still don't say that.
That sounds like him.
Don't say that out loud.
That sounds like him.
Or when we went to CrimeCon in Vegas, and he got a limo as a surprise to like pick us up from the airport. And there was totally a guy like holding the sign that said like Weaver and Rough. And I didn't expect it. So I walk right fucking past the guy because wasn't looking for it. And then
that's good. You accidentally pranked him back by doing that. That's good.
What's dumber though is we were going to Vegas, and that weekend in Vegas was a huge wrestling tournament. My kids are big wrestlers. There was like the US Open was in Vegas, and there was college wrestlers on the plane. And the guy sitting next to me was clearly like, I talked to him most of the ride, but was clearly a college wrestler. He's got cauliflower ear. He's wearing, West Virginia University stuff. So I get talking to him, and after we got off the plane, I was like, oh, good. Have a good weekend, whatever. And Bob's like, are you fucking making friends? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I walked past the guy in the airport that had the sign, and Bob brings him over to me and introduces him to me. And I think he's being an asshole. I think he's being like, look, I met a friend too.
Yeah.
No, it was our fucking limo driver. So I'm like talking to the guy like, "Oh, hi, I'm Zach. Nice to meet you." That's the shit that happens with us. So
Don't
usually
be
not like,
no one is allowed to be mad at me for not totally understanding this or remembering, because I know it's been explained to me before, but what causes cauliflower ear? Like, just getting hit in the ear?
yeah, it's damage to the cartilage.
Oh.
So it's like the
It
cartilage
just
will
sort of misshapes it.
it'll build scar tissue, like
Mhm.
it'll break blood vessels, which will in turn like blow the ear up, but then
Got
it
it.
causes scar tissue and it just never like you have to have it drained, but it just never really goes back
Ugh,
to like
drained.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's gross. It's
Yuck.
yeah, cauliflower is super gross,
Yeah.
which is why my kids will wear headgear as long as they wrestle. As long as we can make them, they will wear headgear.
Good,
I
yes.
think my youngest has wrestled like one match without headgear, maybe,
Yeah.
and that
It's
was
like sex ed class, like, all you have to do is when you show him a picture of cauliflower ear, you'll be
yeah.
like, "Your ear will look like
The
this."
the
And people will be
problem
like,
is the like hardcore wrestler kids think it's
"Yeah.
cool. Like it's almost like a
Got it.
so it's like you
Yep.
have that problem too, where
Yep.
it's like the rite of passage thing. You're like,
Yes.
yeah, I look,
100%.
look, I have it
Yes,
now.
We're
I'm
almost done,
hardcore.
right? Everything's just
Idiot.
He said, fuck off, and no, he said, we're almost done.
Everything's gonna be okay. That's good. I do feel invested in getting this car for Becky now, so
I know,
that
right?
conversation worked because
But
now I'm
also
like, "Oh, you gotta get it."
I love that he does this. This is, we're 15 minutes away from
I
recording an
know.
episode. He's like, I'm gonna buy a car right now.
I
Buy a
know.
car right now. Holy shit. I'm a big fan of hers. I just thought about this because I was making fun of him, but we watched that Rachel Feinstein's new special.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fan of her anyways, and she was on your podcast. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I knew that her husband was a firefighter,
Yeah.
but her special is so good and she makes fun of
Yeah.
firefighters so much.
She makes so much fun. I assumed that you guys had already watched it for some reason.
And
I don't
at
know why.
some point, she has a bit where she's talking about like her firefighter husband selling Bitcoin. And I'm like,
You're
oh
like,
my
"Wait a
God,
minute.
it's
Is this
fucking
Becky?"
Bob. Yeah, it's fucking Bob. Yeah, Michelle was like texting Becky last night. She's like, you need to
Yeah.
watch this. No, we had full intention to watch it and we just never got around to it. We've been busy.
Yeah.
So it was like eventually we're like laying on the couch last night. We're like, oh, let's watch this special. So
Yeah.
no, she's hilarious. Absolutely
Yeah.
hilarious.
She's so nice too. She's just
Is
very
she?
cool. Yeah. We had a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
Good.
What do you have shows this week? Wait, it's a holiday week.
No shows this
Are there
week.
shows?
I've
Okay.
shows. We had a show last Wednesday that went really well at a weird arcade bar thing. Went
Oh, that
really
was my next question. I want to
yeah,
know how Arcade Show went.
went really, really well. They shut the arcade machines off. The
Got it.
only
Perfect.
issue that we had the whole fucking night was the one bartender was talking to people.
No.
Like, you know how like bartenders like small
Yes, I
talk
do.
people at a bar?
Yes. Yes.
He was doing that, but
No.
during the show,
No.
like full volume during the show.
No, no,
He's
no,
the
no, no,
only,
no,
and
no,
people
no.
were literally like, the guests were like looking at him like, the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
And out of everybody, it's a fucking somebody that works
I
there.
know.
Oh, bless.
Have they been doing shows there for a while?
No, that was their first comedy show.
Okay, so he like
So he has
just
no clue.
forgot that
But
he
yeah,
is fully audible, and it actually is very
yeah.
interruptive
And it
to the
was
show.
the venue. I don't know exactly what it
I
was.
wanna see, do you have pictures of the venue? I'm so curious
Yeah, I
about,
can
like,
send
the
you some
setup of
pictures.
the arcade and the little
Yeah.
stage and all that.
But it's definitely exactly what it says. It's called like the Garage Arcade Bar, and it's
Mm.
100% like an old like industrious garage, like the
Yeah.
big like huge garage doors and
Oh, yeah.
arcade
Yeah, yeah,
machines and
yeah.
a bar. But so it's high
Gotcha.
ceilings, all metal. So like even if you were quiet talking, it just carried. Like
Yeah.
the acoustics weren't
The acoustics
great
aren't
for
great.
comedy, like
Yeah.
because everything else carried too. So that's bad. But it was a good time.
Yeah.
No, I
But
don't
you had
have.
a good set.
Yeah, I feel like it went well. Everybody laughed. Everybody that was
Then it
there
went well.
wasn't a huge crowd, but it was like 60 people. But on a Wednesday
That's a
night, like
good crowd.
We'll take it. So
Oh my god, I think that's a solid crowd. When you say
yeah,
there wasn't a huge crowd, I expect you to say 20 or less,
yeah.
quite
No, we've
honestly.
done that too.
Yeah.
I did comedy
We
for
all
12
have.
people, and that was fun.
We all have.
But you know what? I've actually done comedy for 12 people, and all 12 people were there for it, and it was
Yeah.
actually a good time.
Oh, totally.
Where I've done
Totally.
comedy for a bigger room, and that
Yes.
you're just like, oh, these people
It's
suck.
all relative. It's all
100%.
contextual. It's all relative. Yeah, for
No,
sure.
I have a show next Thursday, not this week, next Thursday, and then I don't know. I'm all over the place. I got some coming up though, and we got
Great.
some new stuff lined up. And I'm gonna be applying to a bunch of festivals, so that's my
Oh, cool.
next get up.
What's the range of like distance of the festivals that you're
It depends on what it is, but I'm pretty much open to go wherever I can get in. I mean, I'll definitely like right now, I think the furthest one I've applied to is Cleveland, but I'm for sure open to going wherever. We'll see what happens. I like traveling
Is Cleveland driving distance?
Yeah, Cleveland's only a couple hours. Yeah.
God, you guys are so close to everything. That's so crazy.
Yeah, we're an hour-ish, hour 15 from Chicago. Maybe 3 from Indy, 3 from Detroit, 3 from Cleveland.
That's great.
We're right there.
I might, well, 3's still far. I might be going to Indy for something next month, but I already have so much travel booked that I'm like, oh, should I really do that? I'm going to make myself crazy. But if I do, it would just be like Friday night, then do this thing on Saturday and then leave like Saturday afternoon.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, we'd come down because it's really not that bad. It's an easy drive for us too.
I know, but 3 hours. The Chicago thing is what I wish that we could make work.
Well, you gave us explicit detail or explicit information as to not visit you in Chicago.
At that con? Yeah, no,
that do not come see me at that con.
Oh God, that one. Yeah, those are hard because they are really tiring, and I'd start losing my voice. Did you get it? I look at you. You're like shifting from butt cheek to tell us the latest update. Okay.
Well, I was trying to try to see if I could figure out what you guys were talking about. No, so it was
butt cheeks.
It wasn't as bad as I thought, but so like Carvana is again first time I've ever used it, but it is like everything is like quick. Like when you initiate a purchase, you like a little timer starts going. You have like 30 minutes to get through all the steps and do all the things you got to do and was doing all that and had it complete. And then what I missed a text saying they needed more information. And then what I got when I ran out of here was a text that says, we were unable to complete your order. And I was like, fuck, because Becky's like texting me pictures of it going like, oh, look, it has like lane assistance and blind spot stuff. And I'm like, sorry, you didn't get it. But the order was the delivery. So we had like we had a delivery slot set for them to deliver on Friday, which I still got. I was able to jump right on and get it, but it was because I just did the whole thing in my name. But then her trade-in has both of our names on it, so they didn't have her driver's license. So I just had to upload her driver's license. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Look, great.
Everything's great. Yep.
That's fireworks tonight.
I'm not, dude. This is my favorite thing ever. I'm not going anywhere for fireworks.
Would it normally be happening tonight?
Yeah, they're happening.
Yeah, there's like we have friends that have they always have like a big party on the little town called Baroda. They do a big fireworks and they have a big party and everybody sits around and watches the firework. And I don't
on the 3rd of July though. You're saying
oftentimes on the 3rd, yeah, and it will be today.
Our big one is today, on the 3rd.
Yeah, and it was just like. Every year, like I don't give a good goddamn about a firework. I hate it. Like it's not that I dislike fireworks. I just don't care about fireworks. Not enough to sit there all night,
right,
to watch the fireworks and then wait in 2 hours worth of traffic to try to get out of there. And I just on Monday I was like looking at it because also so like here we come into like we launched a new season. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to launch into the second where we're really digging into the case this week for episode 2. And I'm like it's fucking 4th of July, like it's gonna like schedule's gonna be thankfully Erica is still like it's on Monday. I'm like you can have Thursday off. It's the 4th. You can have Thursday off. We can figure it out. I'll just have to because normally what our routine we've gotten into now is we record this on Wednesday and then I use Wednesday to start writing and then on Thursday morning she comes in and she edits the follow-up. Well, I button up the script and then she reviews the script and then we make all our changes and then I record on Thursday night. We start to edit it, but with her not being here, that was going to be messed up. But anyway, Erica was like, I'll just work Thursday. And I'm like, you don't have to work Thursday.
That's right. She doesn't have to work Thursday.
Yeah.
But she wanted to work Thursday.
She wanted to work Thursday. She's awesome.
But don't you say that to her like you're being a magnanimous boss. She literally does not have to work on Thursday.
No, well, I mean,
you don't get to tell her whether she works on Thursday or not.
I'm not required by law to give people the.
Yes, you are.
No. Listen. every business that is open on Thursday, those are all places that don't get holidays off. So like you're not
But I think they have
required.
to get paid time and a half or double
Mm-mm.
time or something. Really?
Nope. No, that's a
Is that a
see
California thing?
you Hollywood elitists.
No, that I know that from living in San Francisco, but yeah, it would be a California thing.
No, it's like nobody's required by law to do it. But it's just the right. Like I've always given my employees holidays off, obviously.
Gotcha.
But I was thrilled that she was like, no, I'll just work, because I was like, maybe you could just come in because usually she doesn't work Wednesdays. Like we can just come in Wednesday and do the edit, and then I can do the rest. Because I also didn't want to like be like, well, you still have to get your hours in,
right?
Because it's supposed to be just because I pay my employee, like give them paid holiday
Yeah.
when they're off. But she's like, no, I'll just work. So I'll just give her a little bonus for coming in on Thursday.
Just hand her a little sparkler that's already lit. Here's your bonus.
Yeah, right. And then anyway, so during that whole discussion, me trying to figure out the schedule, I was just like, because I think our good friends Mike and Leanne said she's having a little pool party on Thursday.
She did say that. When did she say that? She did say that
at the grad party. She told me that, or somewhere. I don't know. She told me that somewhere. But anyway, I was like, I'd like to be able to go to that, so I don't want to work like a super crazy long day on Thursday. So I'm going to work a super long crazy day today, and anyway, this all came down to me asking Becky, like, do we have to go to the fucking party in the fire? Like, really? Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, I don't want to. So like, we're just gonna stay home. That's what we're gonna do tonight.
Nice.
Totally off topic. Fun note that I thought of yesterday at work. I start getting a ton of likes from this really, 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 really well-known tattooer. Phenomenal tattooer. Name's Annie Frenzel, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I followed this woman for years. She's a phenomenal tattooer. And I'm like, why did I just get all these likes? Like, that's strange that she just found my stuff. And I go to her page, and who does she follow but Bob Ruff? So I'm guessing she's a fan of the show. And when you talked about me on the show about the tattoo shop is when she found it. So if you're a patron, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you, Annie.
You're welcome.
But it was just such a strange, like, I'm like, why is it? You okay?
Sorry, my mic, for some reason, can you guys hear? Are you hearing me through my?
Yeah, you're free.
We hear you, but it does not sound like it's through your mic anymore. Computer. Yeah.
Yeah, I've nothing has happened, and all of a sudden they got an alert that my mic was unplugged. But like,
Carvana will bring you a new one in a minute.
I know.
They'll trade in the old one.
I got to troubleshoot this because literally nothing has happened at all, and my mixer's still on and stuff. So this is bad. Hold on.
That's great. I'm going to go ahead and read this text, unlike I did last time. The text I was ignoring were saying, you have 5 minutes to take care of this. You have 4 minutes to take care of this.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought I was just funny because I was like, because I knew, this person's got like 120,000 followers. I'm like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Like, why is this person liking my stuff?
What was I gonna? Oh, I'm gonna try to do the live read for First Form. Just like do it live because they're that whole situation was they're just like, we just want you to, like, they don't send me copy points, anything. They're like, we just want you to endorse them because you use the products.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So we're just gonna, at some point, I'm gonna say now, quick break for our sponsor, and then you and me are just gonna talk about it for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. For no more than 2 minutes. First Form. Amy says not to buy Erica coffee. I will not. Super excited about this one. So this
I don't know how to troubleshoot this. Sorry, I can hear myself in my mic, so there's literally no reason.
Is your mic a USB or is it in a soundboard then into the computer?
Huh?
Is your mic USB or is it through a soundboard and then into the computer?
It's through my mixer, but but StreamYard thinks I no longer have this microphone working, but it's working. My mixer's on. I can hear myself in my microphone through my headphones.
Can you hear us?
It won't let me hear. No, I'm hearing you through my internal computer. I think StreamYard booted me out of my mixer working.
Reset your mixer. Reboot your mixer.
Shit's about to get real.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's this process, right? So like I have this summer until I start teaching in the fall to like teach Erica to write for me.
Oh, I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So I got you now.
So like so this first episode, like I wrote it and then we went through it together and then I wrote it, she read it and made edits.
Mm-hmm.
So that I could, and put it so I could see where she had edited it, and then we like talked it through and we read it through and then we kind of worked things out together. She added some little spice and some lines here and there. So for this episode coming Sunday, there's 3 distinct acts to it. And so because I don't know how to teach somebody to write in my voice. Like I've never done that before. So for this one, I gave her like act 1. I'm like, write this story. It's a shorter, it's like an 8-minute piece of the episode. And so she wrote her first
nice
script yesterday, and so we're kind of doing the opposite now. So like now I'll look at it and I'll make some edits and work things together. So we're in this process.
Well, I want you to yell at her the way you yelled at Mike. I just want to keep this fair. Just keep it fair.
I can't do it. I don't. She's something the other day. She said that because she's I don't know. She's like, why didn't you just tell me if you wanted me to? I'm like, I don't know, because you're like a child. You're like my kid.
You're like a child.
I can't. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I know. No, you're right. I just turned my mixer on and back off and back on again, and then it was fine. Yep. So
Bob could be IT.
Yeah, I can do it.
Have you tried?
As long as it only involves turning it off and back on.
Have you tried unplugging it? Yeah, plugging it back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so when in that regard, I don't know if I can ever get to a point where I can yell at her like I can.
I think that's for the best. I don't think you need to be yelling at
I was always like joking with Mike, but I was like never really mad. Well, I mean, there were times I was mad at Mike. There were times
you had to back off that quick.
Yeah, but no, I told her, I was like, I can't, like, if I say something to you that like makes you that makes you sad, I'm just gonna like, it'll kill me. I can't.
Yeah,
can't do it.
That's what
I'll get over it. I'll get over it.
Don't get over it.
Maybe once she's 21, then I'll start yelling at her. No, Tool Girl, it's not because she's a girl. It's because she's like literally our relationship is like, it's like she's my, that's it. I was gonna say she's my child. She's not really, but it's like we have like a father-daughter kind of relationship, sort of. And I don't know, there's something about it. She's different than the grown man that I had working in the office.
I think we're all glad there is a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah. Also because she's also like just learning, so I'm very conscious of the fact that so when I asked her to write that part of the script yesterday, like she was super nervous about it. And like her process was super interesting to me. It was like what we used to do when, like, probably not even you, Zach, but Janet and I used to do. She hand wrote a rough draft of it, 2 rough drafts of it twice before she typed it. Which is crazy. I haven't written a rough draft since I was in fucking 8th grade.
Yeah.
But I'd look over and because like I'm typing my act and she's typing her act over or doing her. I'm like, I don't hear any clickety clacking on the keyboard over there. And I look and she's writing, and I'm like, did you just write that? She's like, yeah, twice. I'm just trying to get my thoughts togetder before I type it.
That makes me so happy that someone of a different generation is jotting down notes, writing, because everyone's always like, kids today don't even know how to write letters.
Yeah.
No, I physically write everything too. I still physically write stuff.
Not me. I type everything.
Nope. I carry a joke book around because I write. I write in it. Even if I type joke in my notes when I can't get to my phone or when I can't get to my book, I'll still go back and write it in the book.
I just remember, so we gotta switch the stream up, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna kick you off of here, and then you gotta join again on the public live. So when you get booted off of here, just go back to YouTube, give it a refresh. We'll be back up in a matter of minutes. So see you later, pre-gamers. We're gonna hit edit, and we're gonna remove this.